Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry to have startled you. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see all of you. I just wanted to start to confirm with you that you have been able to access the program for this afternoon's proceedings. So for those of you who may not have been able to, you just need to scan the QR code that is among the materials on your table. It's near the centerpiece. So there is a QR code. You scan that QR code. Anyone who needs Wi-Fi to do so, the Wi-Fi network that you'd be selecting is Radisson Conference, and the password is also written on a card in the center of your table. It's Ballroom 1. So we're going green. We did not print hard copies of the program, but you can certainly download it on your phone, scan it onto your phone, and you'll be fully abreast of everything that we're doing this afternoon. I'd like to start by saying my name is Roddy Batchesing. I have the privilege of being your Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's proceedings. I'm a senior lecturer in the Department of Communications and Digital Media. And as we do on all of these occasions, we will start with the national anthem. And we'll have the pleasure of having the chair of the Department of Creative Industries and Culture, Ms. Nadine Gonzalez, sing the anthem for us.
Side by side we stand, islands of
Thank you, Nadine, for that stirring rendition of the anthem. We'd like everyone to remain standing as we ask the Dean of the Dean of Liberal Arts, Education, and Digital Humanities to deliver the invocation.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. Almighty God, as we gather before you this afternoon to celebrate our faculty, we thank you for bringing us here safely. We pray for your blessing as the college shifts onto a renewed path of creativity and innovation. Inspire us with fresh ideas and new approaches. Empower us to continue embracing our roles as educators with conviction. Help us to keep uppermost in our minds the impact of our work on the lives of our students, their families, and by extension, our national community. Lord, there will no doubt be challenges along the way. We pray for your guidance and persistence to overcome the obstacles on the way to achieving academic excellence. Almighty God, we pray at the end of these proceedings, you will take us home safely to our families. These things we ask in your holy name.
Thank you very much, Dean Sylvester. Please, you may have your seats. We will now like to ask a representative of the Radisson Hotel to brief us on their health and safety protocol.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, invited guests. On behalf of staff and management, I'd like to welcome you all to the Radisson Hotel. I'm Security Manager Kendall Cooper. There are no evacuation exercise scheduled for this afternoon, but to ensure your safety in the event of an emergency evacuation, the following protocols must be observed. The fire alarm will sound loud with a continuous ringing tone. Upon hearing the alarm, please remain calm, and with the assistance of our security personnel and a designated safety warden, you'll be guided to the nearest exit, which you'll utilize in an expeditious but orderly manner. Depending on the nature of the emergency, you'll be guided to one of our muster points, which are conveniently located at the southwestern end of the car park and a vacant lot opposite Wrighton Road Fire Station. Once assembled, please make a head count to ensure that no member of your party is missing. If someone is not accounted for, please notify a staff member of the hotel. Do not re-enter the building before it is declared safe to do so by an authorized member of the Fire Service Department. An associate of the hotel will identify him or herself to assist you with the evacuation process. A couple house announcements. Our washrooms are conveniently located left of the corridor after you exit the room. Thank you for your attention, and please do have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the Radisson representative. If I might just add one small bit of information to what the gentleman has said. I've been on stage a few times already for this afternoon. Please, if anyone is coming up on stage, be very, very careful with the stairs. I'm sure they're more than adequate, but we don't want to have any accidents. So please, the 3 stairs that you're using to come up to join us, if you have to speak on stage, just pay attention to it. I'm going to do a protocol that would permit anyone who wishes afterwards to say all protocols observed to do so. I think it's a useful, a helpful tool. Dr. Keith Nurse, President of COSTAT. Dr. Marlene Atz, Special Invited Guest and Feature Speaker. Dr. Diego Angel Urdanula, Special Invited Guest and Feature Speaker. Vice Presidents, Deans, COSTAT Management, Chairs, Directors, and Coordinators, Administrative Staff of COSTAT, and last but not least, our invaluable and devoted faculty members. I want to start by saying on behalf of COSTAT how grateful we are to have our faculty here with us today. I personally have been faculty at COSTAT for a little over 14 years now, and like all faculty, I know in a very vivid way the challenges we all face as teachers and lecturers. In preparing for today, I saw a quote that very much reminded me of our COSTAT lecturers. The quote is not overly profound, but it is appropriate. The quote says, "A good teacher is like a candle. It consumes itself so that it could light the way for others." The faculty at COSTAT have been deeply self-sacrificial. We have sacrificed so much so that our students and others could live more fulfilling lives and be touched by that magic of transformation. There is no COSTAT without the devotion and self-sacrifice of our faculty. We are the customer-facing employees, but more than the customer-facing employees, we are often the persons that our students remember long after they graduate, and that memory serves them for a very long time into their professional lives. Without faculty, there is no COSTAT. So the theme of today's function is celebrating faculty. Please know that you matter more than words can say, and that this organization needs you, and your students need you. What you do is sacred, and we thank you for it. Now it is my pleasure to welcome someone who has worked tirelessly in the vineyards to serve faculty. She has worked at COSTAT for very many years and has served in many capacities. She is, in a way, an unsung hero. Much of the hard work that she does might go unseen or unacknowledged, but the college owes her a great debt of gratitude. I would please like to introduce our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Nasim Koilas, to give her welcome remarks.
Dr. Keith Nurse, President of COSTAT, Dr. Marlene Atz, our guest speaker this evening, Dr. Angel Urdanulu, special invited guest, who is joining us remotely today from Washington, D.C., Vice Presidents, Deans, COSTAT Management, our chairs, directors, and coordinators, faculty members, and staff. Good afternoon. And thank you, Roddy, our Master of Ceremonies, for the introduction. I extend the warmest welcome to all of you present today. I would also like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Marlene Atz, who is our feature speaker, and as I indicated earlier on, we have two feature speakers today, Dr. Diego Angel Urdanulu, I hope I got the name correctly, who will join us remotely. Good afternoon again, and welcome to our 2023 Faculty Convocation. We appreciate your decision to spend your Sunday evening in the company of your peers. The last time we convened under this title was back in 2012. And I am pleased to announce our commitment to continue this academic tradition. This gathering is dedicated to celebrating our educators and recognizing the pivotal role you play at the college, not only in the realm of teaching and learning, but also in your significant contribution to the ongoing development and advancement of our esteemed institution. We are delighted to have you back in this space, and we are eagerly anticipating an eventful program this evening. As many of you are aware, our institution has faced some challenges in recent times, including declining student enrollment and substantial reductions in funding from various sources, including government subvention. In fact, from the academic year 2015-2016 to present, we have experienced a 51% decline in student enrollment. Additionally, between the fiscal years 2017-18 to 21-22, and it's more or less the status quo now, the college's actual income derived from subvention, gate funding, and various student fees has decreased by 35.8%. Our actual expenditures, including commitments, also decreased by 35% during the same period. Recognizing the need for change, our new president, Dr. Keith Nurse, assumed leadership on November 1st, 2022, and immediately set the stage for a different course of action. Realizing that maintaining the status quo was not a viable option, President Nurse initiated a strategic planning exercise, which is ongoing. This process has involved a thorough assessment of our internal and external environments, considering all relevant factors. As a result, the college has organized itself in terms of its future direction, into 3 strategic pillars. Sustainable futures, I'm sure you've been hearing about it. Sustainable futures, digital transformation, and global pathways. Throughout a consultative and engaging process involving academic heads and managers, 10 critical success factors were identified. These factors include defining the college's value proposition, assessing and delivering programs that meet market demand, identifying new sources of income, establishing strategic partnerships, evaluating the market and promoting the college, developing and delivering high-quality products and customer service, establishing a performance culture for stakeholder engagement, building trust with faculty and staff, engaging in digital transformation activities, and promoting an evidence-based and reflective culture. In support of these critical success factors, the college has recognized the need to define its target audiences, reconfigure programs and services to better meet stakeholder needs, and determine the most appropriate structure for its administrative and governance functions. This effort aims to better allocate resources and prioritize strategic issues in the curriculum with a focus on digitalization, sustainability, and global concerns. In May of this year, COSTAT's 7th Board of Trustees approved a revised academic structure that repositions schools and departments to reflect existing and new program offerings more accurately. These changes include the renaming of the existing academic schools and the introduction of new departments, as well as the establishment of an additional school, all designed to better serve our students' needs and generate non-gate revenues. So behind me today, you have on our new panels the names of the new schools. We have the School of Business and Digital Technologies, and this is, of course, is made up of 2 departments, the Department of Management and Digital Entrepreneurship, and the Department of ICTs and Digital Technologies, and we have that school is sitting at the back. the School of Nursing, Health, and Medical Technologies. And this school is made up of 3 departments: the Department of Nursing, Department of Health and Medical Technologies, and we are hoping to establish a new department, the Public Health and Wellness, soon to come. We also have the School of Liberal Arts, Education, and Digital Humanities. So the Department of Education will have under its remit all of our education programs, including ECCE, which we have started with, and our mathematics programs and our English programs. The Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences, Criminal Justice, Human Security, and Legal Studies is the 3rd department in the school, followed by the School of Workforce Enhancement and Development. And this school has, and all of the schools have a specific focus on revenue generating services and increasing enrollment in areas of developmental education and other dual arrangement enrollment arrangements. So we have the Upskilling Academy in this school. We also have College Start, which is a rebranding of our campus program and campus unit. It's called College Start. And then we also have Translation and Interpretation, which you know has been a revenue generating service unit at the college. We also have the Ken Gordon School of Communication, Creative, and Digital Media, which is made up of 2 departments, the Department of Creative Industries and Culture, and this department will now house our fine and performing arts programs, as well as all our film and video production, as well as history, the history components, and literature as well will come under this department. The Department of Digital Media and Communication, which is an amalgamation of journalism, mass comm, graphic design, and Spanish. Advertising and promotion. Sorry, Sophie. Sophie is whispering all over her courses there. School of Environment, Circular Economy, and Sustainability is our newly minted school. And the focus of this new school will be to offer programs in areas that address global and contemporary issues, including but not limited to environmental management, sustainability, waste management, recycling, climate change, and biodiversity loss. We have 2 departments in this school. It is the Department of Environmental and Sustainability Studies and the Department of Natural and Life Sciences. As I indicated earlier, it's not business as usual. The mandate of these schools and departments is to seek out new and emerging target audiences, establish strategic alliances, and develop new programs that meet stakeholder needs with a heavy focus on generating non-gate revenues. To support these changes, we have initiated the recruitment of human resources to fulfill this new mandate, including the recruitment of faculty, clinical instructors, department chairs, school deans, and other administrative support staff to take the mandate forward. To further support the achievement of the redefined institutional goals in the upcoming year, and I am sure that our faculty members would be happy to hear this, we are working diligently towards establishing the long-anticipated Faculty Senate. This governance body, as defined by Section 17 of Act 77 of 2000, that's our COSTAT Act, will have control and authority over research, academic instruction, academic policy, examinations, and the eligibility of students and individuals for academic awards and other honors of distinctions. While elements have been in existence for some time, the full implementation of the Faculty Senate will enable us to fully realize the goals we have established under this new strategic direction. Furthermore, we will be working towards establishing the Center of Excellence for for teaching and learning, sorry. This administrative unit will focus on initiatives surrounding quality assurance in teaching and learning, faculty development, research, and publication. In response to evolving organizational priorities and shifts in colleges' administrative and governance structures, our hardworking academic chairs and deans and yourself as faculty are adapting and are actively developing new programs. These initiatives stem from a recognition that changes to program offerings and content are essential for increasing enrollment and revenue streams. The college is adapting its curriculum to provide more accessible and affordable education, aligning with labor market demands for shorter, workforce-focused courses. These modularized approach streamlines micro-credentials, certificates, diplomas, associate degrees, and bachelor's degrees, allowing our students to secure employment more quickly. And I will end here. These are just a few of the recent updates I wanted to share with you today. I think I ran out of my 10 minutes. But I want to welcome you here today, and I encourage you to enjoy the remainder of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Coilas, for putting so much into perspective and for warming up the audience by hailing out everyone. People seem to like to hear that they're represented, and that even though so many of us have served the institution for so long, there is this sense of new energy and new blood coursing through the institution. To build on that, we now, if you look at your program, have an icebreaker exercise, and a very charming person will be explaining it to us. As we all know, mightn't be that thrilled to be on the end of an ice-breaking exercise, but I know that Ms. Wilson will do a wonderful job explaining it. I do want to say all of us use them at the beginning of a semester. So just remember that at the beginning of the semester, we all use icebreakers to warm up a room, to get students to know each other and so forth, and they're usually very successful. So I'd like to ask the newly appointed Dean of the School of Environment, Circular Economy and Sustainability, Ms. Delamy Wilson, to explain it all to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. When Dr. Coilas asked me to come up with the icebreaker, my first reaction was to do an evil laugh and tap my fingers together as I thought about all the things I could get everybody to do. But I did a filter, and I have 4 tasks, right? The first one is I'm asking you to quickly choose a leader and stand up. There are people that are coming around with a list of activities for you to do. When you receive it, okay, they've already started, right? So I'm going to give you quick instructions. Listen up. Listen up. You have 8 minutes, at least attempt to complete the 3 tasks in any order. And remember that being strategic in your teamwork is important. There's some of you in leadership, chairs, deans, VPs, presidents, that have to provide service not only for your table, but everybody else, just like you do in real life. So when somebody comes to you and asks you something, respond. The first table to complete all 3 tasks correctly and send their leader up here to me to present their responses and answers, you win. And there's a prize at the end. All right? All right, sounds like we're ready to go. Ready, set, go. Remember, there are tasks on both sides of the sheet, and it's the first table that can send their representative up with the correct answers. All leaders are required to help. All leaders are required to help. Leadership 101. Come quick, come quick. Whoever's on their way. Okay, we have our first representative here who's going to give us their responses, and it looks like their answers are correct, so I'm going to give Anuradha Singh a chance to read the responses from the table at the center.
Good afternoon, everyone. So our quote from our COSTAT leader, and technically speaking, we're all leaders, so, just to apply some sophistry here. This is from Dean Dwarka, who is at our table. So personal teachers, brothers, sister, husband, wife, friend, faculty is the cosmopolitan drink, a mixture of a delicious mixed drink makes you happy, and you can conquer the world.
All right.
Do I give the answer for the decoded? Yeah. The answer for the decoded puzzle, we are building a future for COSTAT together.
Woo!
And for number 3, from our boomer, Jeffrey Ma. he just came in on the lower, the upper limit of the boomer, so he's, barely there. Education is a two-way street. From a Gen X, don't sweat the small stuff and have fun. That's me. And millennials, friends just take you, but they do bring you back.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're just going to ask you to, yes, you do. You win something. So Crystal is about to bring the prize. What's that? The center table. So the center, or you can join the table. Join the table. The table can stand to receive your prize. What? All right, great job to the center table here at the front. And even though I was sitting there, I did not help them. They did that all on their own. Congratulations to everybody for participating, and thank you very much. Enjoy the evening.
Hey everyone, let's have a round of applause for Delamay Wilson. Thanks for coming up. It's such a wonderful activity. It's always nice to have this type of lovely energy at a function. And I particularly like the Gen X quote, "Don't sweat the small stuff and be happy." I know a few of us here are Gen X, so it sounds just about right. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Keith Nurse. He is the leader of our organization and president of COSTAT. Dr. Nurse has held many remarkable jobs in his life, and if you were to read his impressive and lengthy resume, you would feel truly fortunate to have such an incredible professional as our college president. Dr. Nurse is coming up on his first year anniversary as the head of this organization, and we're very excited to hear his address today as he continues to implement a great vision for our beloved college. It is my privilege to invite Dr. Keith Nurse to share with you his president's address.
Good afternoon. They turned on the lights just for me. I know there's a song like that, but I won't try and sing it. It's an extreme pleasure to be here with you this afternoon, and a lovely Sunday afternoon. They always have to do that for me. Raise the mic. So, all protocols being observed, I would really like to thank Roddy for leading the ceremonies here this afternoon. And I would also like to thank you, the staff, for being here. It's really an amazing opportunity for us to share, and in fact, in some instances, for me to meet some of you. Because really, in the new context, particularly with digital education, it's extremely important for us to create opportunities where we actually meet. Now, I have a presentation, so I must, confess that if you give an academic, I consider myself to be an academic at heart, a podium a stage, and an audience, what do you expect? But I know that I am between you and our first feature speaker, Angel Odilana, Diego, who is from the World Bank, and I've known him for a few years now, and we share a lot of the ideas about the future of education. So I asked him if he would spare some time on a Sunday to come and give his ideas and thoughts with us. So I'm going to try to be brief. I've entitled my presentation, can you see it? Because I can't. Okay. Future Skills, Implementing the COSTAT Strategic Plan. Thankfully, Nasim, and I go on a first name basis here, Nasim was kind enough to talk a little bit about the strategic plan and what the outcomes were and what we have defined as the key pillars going forward. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that. I really wanted to focus on where we are going and why we're going there. So the first slide talks about embedding a change mindset. Well, let me start off by saying that back in September, or in fact it was actually in August, I was invited by the president of USC, one of our higher educational institutions here in Trinidad and Tobago, University of the Southern Caribbean, to give the feature address at their convocation. And the title for that convocation was Change Mindset, Self-Strategies and Change. Self-System and Strategies. And I started reflecting on the role of higher educational institutions, particularly in a post-COVID context. And I did like what everyone else is doing these days. I actually put the question to ChatGPT. What came back was so generic, I ended up writing my own thing. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think if you passed it through that the ChatGPT screen filter, you would find that my paper does have a little bit of ChatGPT in it, but it's about 80% my own. One of the things that I wanted to emphasize in my presentation was that the change process is not comfortable. No one, no institution, no country wakes up one morning and say, you know what, I would like to change. It doesn't happen. Change comes from either a process of crisis or foresight. And in fact, you have your two choices. Like one of my good friends would say, she goes, we really have two choices now. You either disrupt yourself or you wait to be disrupted. Take your pick. The latter tends to be outside of your control, and you're not quite sure what you're going to get. At least if you choose to disrupt yourself, some level of preparation goes into the process, and whether the outcomes are clear, the point is at least you have a sense of control. I opt for the former, and I think with the design of our strategic plan, we have opted to disrupt ourselves. So, but this is only the beginning. The creation of the new schools, embedding more technology in our programs, changing the way in which we engage with our stakeholders, particularly our students, but also external stakeholders, universities, other institutions, is part of the process going forward. So one thing I wanted to do is I have some of the key points that I raised in my presentation, and for me some key issues jump out. One, we have to accept that we have a value system and a way of doing things, and more than likely we are comfortable with it, and we need to change that. The second thing is that really one size fits all doesn't work. Each school is going to be different, but also all our students have some level of differentiation, including what we call now neurodivergence learners. And the third point is that just as we expect our students to be lifelong learners, it is incumbent on us to be lifelong learners as well. Now, I have a small video embedded in my presentation, which is what you're supposed to do with these kinds of things now, don't you? Embed some kind of multimedia component. And when thinking about it, I remembered, or in fact, Melissa, who now works in the office of the president, Melissa Hadley, she said, why don't we embed this video, which focuses on what are the key skills that kids need for the future? And so I wanted us to take a quick look at that. So if my technical support team could quickly press play. I don't think we have to preach the point. But what I can say is that if you look at the strategic pillars that we have adopted going forward for COSTAT, it is clear that we've embedded these key elements. And so sustainable futures is not just about what we teach in the classroom, and it's not just the fact that we have a new school for the environment, circular economy, and sustainability. We need to infuse sustainability throughout all of the curriculum, but also we need to embed sustainability in our practice. So the fact that we have no printed programs using QR codes, great, but we need to be zero waste on our campuses, for example. We need to ensure that a lot more of the electricity that we are utilizing comes from renewable sources, and the list goes on and on. Digital transformation, again, a bit of a no-brainer. In fact, the key point is this. All our systems are such at the college that without the digital component, we are dead in the water. So we could operate without water, and we could operate without electricity on our campuses. Everyone can work from home. But if our IT and our telecoms go down, we're closed. So that's how important digital transformation is. And that's why we are trying to hire a new VP for digital transformation. So a new VP post is up for grabs. And last but not least, global pathways. The college is one of the best kept secrets, not just in Trinidad and Tobago, but in the Caribbean. Even though we have some of the best facilities for science and technology, not just in the English-speaking Caribbean, but I can tell you, across the whole Caribbean. So our multi-science labs, and our nursing labs, and to some extent our computer labs and other facilities are among the best that I've seen anywhere. So I was sharing with a colleague a few minutes ago that I went to visit the top biotech school in Paris, and we're trying to develop an exchange program with them. And they were so proud to show me their new multi-science lab wing, which has 2 labs. Their labs were exactly the same as our labs, except they're 2/3 the size. I didn't tell them that though. But I'm saying this to you to say that at COSTAT, we have facilities and resources and staff that are world-class, and we need to be very proud of ourselves. So let's give ourselves a round of applause. Where do we go from here? I'm going to try and wrap this up really quickly, so please bear with me. If you look at the global context, the world of higher education is no longer what it used to be. In fact, it is moving increasingly towards a context where skills are becoming more and more important. But you know what? That's where COSTAT's mandate has always been. The rest of the world is trying to catch up. Some of our competitors here in Trinidad and Tobago are trying to catch up with us, and are trying to come after our target market. And so it is incumbent on us to move faster and deepen our skill sets. So there's a whole range of strategies that are now required for us to move forward. And this is in a context where Trinidad and Tobago is faced with declining earnings from its hydrocarbon economy, high youth employment, and high immigration rates. And so we do need to take into account all of these key factors, as well as the fact that Trinidad and Tobago landscape for higher education is very competitive, with over 50 providers of higher education in Trinidad and Tobago. So where do we go? New academic structure. Dr. Coilas Nassim talked about the new academic school, so I won't talk about that, except to say that I think by the reframing of the names and the reorganizing of our academic content, we are going to become increasingly competitive. In fact, some of the other schools have already signaled to me that that they see us now as a threat. So that's a good news. But where I think we can really steal a chance on the competition is by the creation of the Upskilling Academy. We call it upskilling because the objective here is not just to offer desk training. It's to produce training linked to an incubator process whereby we help people develop their business ideas, do the proof of concept, etc., linked to an accelerator where we work with strategic partners to identify financing so that these entrepreneurs can actually go into the marketplace and implement. In many respects, we've already started. So Dr. Sherwin Millet was very quick on the button and moved to secure for us our first upskilling academy, which is on circular economy. So it fits in perfectly with our new mandate. We are getting funding through the IDB Lab in conjunction with Cropper Foundation. But we have several other discussions and programs, for example, that are en route in the Upskilling Academy framework. One recently we signed with Fortinet to do work on cybersecurity, and we have several other areas that we're working on. But all of this work would not suffice if we don't boost our investment in what I call the Tech Hub, or what we are calling the Tech Hub. The Tech Hub is really going to be at the core of all of these new transformations. If we are a College of Science, Technology, and Applied Arts, then we need to own it. We need to have the best science, technology, and applied arts facilities, not just here in Trinidad and Tobago, but across the Caribbean. If you look at how, for example, entrepreneurship is taught all across the region, it's still very much a textbook approach. We want to show that a skills-based approach to technology training requires you to have these facilities. 3D printing, robotics, VR, AR, extractive manufacturing, you name it. And the Tech Hub is going to be at the core. It's going to be the mechanism by which both our students in the academic schools and those who are coming through our upskilling academy will have access to the greatest available technologies that are very hands-on, but also very applicable to the new world of work and the new world of entrepreneurship. So very much thanks to Melissa and IDO, we came up with this new diagram that links the academic schools and the upskilling academy with the Tech Hub, and it shows all the science stuff going on up at the top. But the real key element that is a new value proposition for the college is linking training to an incubator to an accelerator. And we are currently in some discussions with some financial institutions to provide funding for those who pass through our upskilling academy and so on. I wanted to end by saying this is premised on the notion of future skills. Our mandate, our new way of articulation is premised on this notion. And in that sense, we are re-envisioning COSTAT, and we are hoping in the early part of the year to launch our new academic schools, to launch the upskilling academies, and to launch the Tech Hub, to announce to the world that we have arrived at our new future framework. And I want to end on that note, and thank you very much for your kind attention.
I generally don't have to adjust these mics downward. Right, here we go. Yes. Dr. Nurse, thank you so much for enlightening us about all the very exciting initiatives and the remaking of COSTAT and the opportunity for incredible growth in a very dynamic and challenging environment. Many exciting things are happening, and it's good to feel like we're a premier institution again. So, thank you very much. Great. So before we move on to our first feature address, we do have a door prize to give out. And to assist us with that, Crystal Manichan Berwar will be coming on stage to explain to you how the door prize works. And we'll give our IT team an opportunity to get our next presentation on. Crystal.
Good afternoon, everyone. All protocols observed. How are you all feeling this afternoon? Great? I can't hear you all. Can I hear a round of applause from everyone? Are you all feeling okay? Are you all ready for a giveaway? That doesn't sound like you're all ready for a giveaway. Can I hear another round of applause? Yes, much better. Okay, today I'm tasked with giving you all a special door prize. So I'll ask Dr. Helen Williams-Cumberbatch to just join me on stage to select a number. So all of you would have signed the register outside, and everyone would have been allocated a number. In this beautiful container, I have numbers 1 to 64. I'll ask Dr. Cumberbatch to select a number, and based on the number that was allocated to your name, you'll get a special prize. So we have number 26. Number 26, okay, so we have Miss Jennifer Ryan is allocated to that number. Unfortunately, she is not here with us. Can I ask you to choose another number? Who is the lucky person? Number 25. Can I ask Mr. Jeffrey Mohammed to stand, please? Mr. Jeffrey Mohammed, you have won yourself our door prize, our first door prize. Can you please join us on stage to collect your prize? Yes, can you present it, please? Oh, okay, sure. Thank you. Just give it. Carla. Thank you so much. Okay, enjoy the rest of the afternoon's activities until the next door prize.
Thank you very much, Crystal. Right, so as many of us would now be familiar, next presentation is a Zoom presentation from Washington, D.C. And since all of us are now, thanks to the pandemic, experts at video conferencing classes, you will also be, and by the way, Zoom meetings and Teams meetings and everything. You will, great. So they tell me I don't have to stall anymore. Thank you very much. I was really stretching that out. Good, so let me take the opportunity to introduce another world-class professional from his base in Washington, D.C. Dr. Diego Angel Urdinola is a global lead for skills and tertiary education at the World Bank. He's also a skills umbrella trust fund manager at the World Bank. He leads lending operations, global partnerships, technical assistance, and applied research in higher education. As you can see, the World Bank's very much like COSTAT because you have to be very good at many things. His work experience has led him to develop deep relationships with various regions of the world, including Latin America, Europe, Sub-Saharan Africa, Central Asia. Dr. Angel Urdinola has published articles in various academic and non-academic publications, including the Journal of Economic Inequality and the Journal of International Development, among several others. Dr. Angel Urdinola has a PhD in economics from Georgetown University. As I said before, he's speaking to us from his base in Washington, D.C. So without further ado, please help to give a very warm COSTAT welcome to Dr. Angel Urdinola. We'd like to say thank you to Dr. Diego Angel Urdinola for sharing these really valuable perspectives, and I think for many of us, shaking us up a little bit about the demographic changes, and we can give him another round of applause as we... So I think we've come to a well-earned break for all of us. I wanted to say, just before you proceed on your break, there's a display at the back of faculty publications. Please, if you could spend a small amount of time during your break to have a look at them. And of course, for those of you who want to support our faculty members with orders, you're very welcome to do so. All of the books are also available for purchase on Amazon. Just as you exit the door, because the break is 15 minutes long, as you exit the door and turn right, you'll be able to find where the refreshments are being served. And also remember, when you give your students a break, you do need them to come back and get started. So please enjoy a break, and we'll see you in 15 minutes. Hi, good afternoon again, everyone. Sorry to interrupt the camaraderie and all the excitement and enjoyment of seeing colleagues for the first time in some time. I want to let everyone know that even while presentations are going on, there's still beverages outside and pastries and so forth, so feel free to access them and bring them back inside if you wish. But because we're slightly a little bit behind, we want to get going again. So we've come to the exciting part of the afternoon, and that's to do with our faculty presentations. Our first faculty presentation is from the Technology in Teaching and Learning Working Group, and I want to invite our newly appointed Dean, Dr. Kyra McGowan Santana. She will get the presentation started and introduce all members of her team. Without further ado, I want to invite our great colleague up to join us.
All right. I was told to speak into the mic. Good afternoon. Is everyone hearing me? I'm not on Zoom, but that's the common refrain. So good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Kyra McGowan Santana, and I am the co-chair of the Online Teaching and Learning Committee at the college. This afternoon, we are here to do a little presentation, again, with the whole theme of celebrating faculty, but from our perspective, celebrating faculty and specifically the role that faculty have played in online teaching and learning at the college. So I'm here on behalf, as I said, I'm the co-chair of the committee. I am here representing as well Ms. Anuradha Singh, another member of my committee. We have Mrs. Lizelle Branswell Brown, my fellow co-chair, who's sitting in front of me in the audience. Sorry. Karen, we have Miss Karen Paul, Karen. And then we also have Dr. Nika St. Rose, who's going to be coming up shortly. And then last but not least, unfortunately, she is unable to be here this afternoon, Mrs. Lalita Ramlal Chirkut. Okay, so when it comes to online teaching and learning at the college, a lot of the work that we've done over the last couple of years has been based on three things. First of all, our policy, which many of you have heard ad nauseum about, right? Our policy, our online teaching and learning policy that we've recently developed to guide our online teaching at the college, our pedagogy, and then our technology. But none of that is possible without the foundation that's the people within our college, our faculty. And we know that our faculty drive everything, and they are responsible for the success that we've had in online teaching and learning at the college. So everything. So what we do, or what we have done in online teaching and learning, the foundation of that would be the people within our college. Our people are creative with very little, okay? We are proficient in what we do, and we are resilient. And that has come to show itself within our online teaching at the college. Now, we all know some of these facts, but this is just to reiterate that online is not going anywhere. It's not just something that was a passing fad with the pandemic. Online is now a part of our teaching and learning process. This quote by Brazelton in 2020, he says that colleges and universities have increasingly offered and relied on online educational technologies to support and enhance the academic mission. However, an even more recent study showed that institutional factors such as technological sufficiency, instructor sufficiency, which I've italicized there, and technical assistance play significant roles in students' acceptance of online learning, especially in developing nations. I've emphasized there instructor efficiency because at the college, I don't think that is something that we can really speak to, because our instructors have really gone above and beyond in terms of showing up for our students in online teaching and learning. And I'm going to show you, or Anu, my member here for my committee, she's going to talk about some of the data which shows how our instructors have been showing up online.
So this is some completion data for our EDOC 500 training course, the certificate program in online teaching and learning. I will pause to the mic adjustment. So to the initial view, this looks a little, it tells us, it doesn't tell the true story, the full story, because we're seeing 37% of the people who enrolled for the course never completed it. 20% withdrew, 7% never logged in, and only a little more than a third of the people who signed up for the EDOC 500 completed it. So we had to ask ourselves, what was the reason for this? So we looked at it according to groups. So these groups were designated by discipline areas. So for example, Moruga Scorpion Pepper Forever. The fourth bar that you're seeing here was made up of natural sciences, HSC, and some participants from Lolita's program as well. So this is just giving a breakdown of how many people completed for each of the major groups. So we each led out on a group that was close to our discipline area, so we would be able to understand the coursework that the participants were doing. We'd have some familiarity with their content. And what we saw is that for each group, less than half of the participants actually completed. And the message that I want us to take from this is not that, the participation rate was low and the completion rate was low. I want you to understand how hard and how difficult it was to complete this EDOC 500 class while you were adjusting to the pandemic, while you were adjusting to your children being at home, crawling all over you, demanding snacks every 10 minutes. While you were trying to put 5 courses online, deal with 5 times 30 students who are also panicking, also dealing with their children, while you were sharing devices, sharing spaces. So those of us who completed and those of us who attempted, I want you all to appreciate for yourselves how difficult this was. And I want you all to be proud of the work that you've done, because that course it was tough. I will stand here and not be bold-faced and pretend that it wasn't tough. It was a tough course, and I will tell you, I said it before and I'll say it again, teaching that course was something that really changed the trajectory of my interest in teaching as well, because it led me to realize that there's much fulfillment to be had from the sense of community that you get from teaching educators as well, from seeing your ideas, your innovation, your creativity. It was something that I wish everybody could actually get a little experience in teaching this course to educators as well. It's absolutely a breathtaking experience to see how dedicated, talented, innovative, and altruistic most of you are. So we want to look at the reality of life right now as it is. So yes, I do have a graph addiction, and there's nothing I can do for it. I've been tested. There's really nothing we can do. So this is breaking down the % course modality by number of CRNs. So for example, in 2010, we had 776 CRNs. In 2023-20, we have 611 CRNs. Before the pandemic, which is the first inflection point, that very first purple arrow that you're seeing, most of our classes, 80.54% of our classes were face-to-face. After the inflection point, we went almost fully online. And then after the second inflection, after the pandemic, most of our CRNs were also fully online or blended, right? Then we go by student numbers. So again, before our first inflection point, we see that we had mainly face-to-face classes. After the inflection point, we are basically running almost fully online, over 75% online. Okay? So this is giving you an idea of how serious our drive to pursue excellence, continue to pursue excellence as online educator, how important that drive is. So by now, you must be heartily fed up of hearing from our committee, as witty and as entertaining as we all are. So we would like to play a video of the really important voices, the faculty and the students. So please take a look at this video.
Online teaching and learning was always an exciting platform and a delicious mode of delivery for me. I will say, however, that one of my initial concerns was that on occasion, my brain-to-mouth filter is defective, and I was a tad fearful, particularly for my synchronous sessions, you know, that whole record when you don't know you're being recorded. In the beginning, the struggle was real, and primarily in two areas, communication being one, finding ways to engage the students, particularly on a visual landscape, deliver the content effectively and meaningfully, and two, student engagement. For many students, their chosen method of interaction is silence. And quite honestly, I still do struggle with that. But I will subscribe to the fact that online teaching and learning has benefited our students. And to answer this, I would orbit one word: flexibility. So many students are involved in various spheres of life, and it's such a convenient mode for them. In the future, I would love to see more educational technology tools that allow us to engage the students in a more meaningful way. And finally, to my colleagues who are struggling with making the transition to online delivery, I would say hang in there. Help is on the way. In the beginning, my recommendation is to provide digestible bits of content. It doesn't have to be tiny, tiny bite-sized pieces of content all over the place. It should just be broken up and uniquely positioned so the student is able to marinate in it well.
Good day everyone, I'm Karen King and I've been teaching online in the online space for a little while now. I remember some of my initial thoughts that flooded my mind when I first started had to do with the issue of, could you really teach someone online? Could you really teach all topics online? And I'm here to say, after doing this for some years, at least for my discipline, that every topic can be easily and efficiently done online. There's really no need to worry where that is concerned. People have their concerns, but my experience shows that we don't have to worry. Also, I remember in the early stages, one of my main struggles was pre-recording my lectures. I remember hating to hear my voice so much. But now I'm not as self-conscious. I simply hit record and deliver my very short mini lectures for my students. And that's a great benefit to all of them because they are able to record, they are able to press pause, they are able to rewind. They have them indefinitely, unlike a guided, unlike a live lecture. And it adds to the many other benefits of online, right? Online has so many benefits for our students. They have the ability to schedule their lives around the other things that matter to them. So the time commitment is significantly altered. It also places them, in my opinion, in the active driving seat in ways that sometimes face-to-face learning doesn't. In the online space, I find that it aids in helping them to understand that they are the active learner because they have a little bit more activities and a little bit more reading. And if there's anyone who is interested or in doing online learning and feel a bit hesitant or a bit anxious to make that jump, my advice to you would be simple: close your eyes and jump in. You wouldn't regret it, and do what I did. Look for someone who is a bit more experienced than you, someone who you could rely on, someone who you can message weekly to get advice on new technologies and new approaches. For me, that person was Kyra, who helped me a great deal in the early days. So friends, if you have any anxiety, close your eyes and jump in. Thank you.
My name is Lillian Hussein, and I'm a final year biology student at COSTAT. In addition to being a student, I'm a wife and a mother to 2 young children. So for my entire tertiary academic career, I have been employed on a full-time basis. Be it shift or working Monday to Friday 8 to 4, the main challenge with being a working student is scheduling. And scheduling also includes picking your classes, your amount of classes, and working through the semester. So before classes were online, it was a challenge to come from work to go to class and then going home late in the evening. So for me, having classes online meant that I could come from work, come home, organize, and sit in the comfort of my living room and participate in the class without having to worry about transportation that night. Another plus would be having access to the class material before the class. So the live session would have been more of a Q&A, and the lecturer was able to iron out any folds in the topic. One of the downsides to online classes was that labs were also now virtual, and being a science student where you want to be in the lab to take theory and make it practical. My overall opinion on online though is that it brought many benefits. So during face-to-face classes, if you were absent for some reason, you would have missed what was covered in that session. But with online classes now, with the classes being recorded, if you missed that session, you could still sit in. The e-classroom is there, full of resources is another thing. Online exams, when you had exams in person, sometimes the exam was in the day of your class. Now you had to go and find where this class is, which section of the class your exam is in. So if I had to pick, online class is it.
Hello, my name is Sydney Altar and I'm a second-year graphic design student. My initial thoughts on online learning was skepticism. Online learning wasn't something that I was necessarily familiar with in the beginning, and because of that, I wasn't as certain that it would be as effective as physical classes. I have